Jesus' gaze of love. Jesus lowers his gaze with infinite tenderness, his eyes oceans of mercy, filling every angel with living fire. The heavens themselves seemed to pause as that gaze descended, as though all of creation leaned closer to receive what words could not contain. No crown of jewels could outshine that glance. No throne of silver or gold could equal the majesty hidden in the softness of his eyes. For in them was eternity itself, not cold, not distant, but alive with compassion, warm as the first light of dawn, vast as the sea without shore, unending as love itself. Around him the angels bowed, not because command was given, but because their hearts melted into worship at the very sight of him. Their wings folded like petals in the presence of the sun, their faces lit with violet fire reflected from his glory. Yet Jesus did not look with pride, nor did his eyes carry the weight of judgment. Instead, his gaze was like the touch of a mother upon her child, like the hand of a shepherd lifting the lamb caught in thorns. Every angel who met his eyes felt themselves unmade and remade in an instant, as though their very being was drawn back into the source of all love. The violet and golden stars above pulsed brighter, as though they too had hearts that beat in rhythm with his mercy. The galaxies swirled in silence, their radiant arms stretching across infinity, like dancers moving to an unheard hymn. All of creation became a cathedral vast beyond imagination, with Jesus at its center, his eyes as the altar flame that burned without ceasing. Some angels wept silently, for they had carried burdens of longing even in heaven, a yearning to be closer, to dissolve entirely in his light. And as his gaze fell upon them, the tears became rivers of fire, not of sorrow but of joy, for his eyes spoke what no voice could utter. You are mine, and I am yours. You are loved beyond measure, beyond time, beyond all that you think you must earn. One young seraph, wings still shimmering with the freshness of creation, dared to lift her gaze fully. She had often felt small amidst the grandeur of the heavenly host. Her song quieter, her light dimmer, her courage uncertain. Yet when she met the eyes of Jesus, she discovered that he looked at her as though she alone existed, as though all of heaven had been woven just to cradle her being. In that gaze, her insecurity vanished, replaced by the certainty that she was cherished, irreplaceable, eternal in his love. She knelt, trembling, not out of fear, but out of a joy too vast to bear. And the older angels, who had sung since the dawn of time, who had watched worlds be born and stars ignite, felt the same. For though they had seen him through countless ages, though their wings had brushed against radiance for eons, each time his eyes met theirs, it was as though they were seeing him for the first time, as though eternity itself had been reset in that single glance. Jesus' gaze did not remain only with the angels. It reached beyond the borders of heaven, cascading like a river of violet light through the firmament, touching galaxies, stars, and planets with a love so real that even the stones seemed to sigh with longing. The earth, turning quietly below, received the touch of that gaze like morning dew upon its fields. Mountains seemed to bow, oceans shimmered with unusual light, forests whispered as though they too remembered the hand that had made them. And humanity, fragile, searching, broken, though they could not see his eyes, felt the stirring within their souls, a call they could not name, a warmth that lifted their hearts toward something greater. It was said among the angels that his gaze could heal wounds no hand could reach. One cherub, once fractured by shadows of doubt, had wandered at the edges of heaven, uncertain if she belonged. But the day his eyes found her, the fire entered her soul, and she was restored, her wings unfolding with colors brighter than before. She became a testimony among the host, that his love does not merely accept, it transforms, it creates anew. It burns away all fear and replaces it with light. The angels sang softly then, not with words, but with the resonance of hearts overflowing. Their kneeling forms became like a sea of living fire, each flame unique, yet all reflecting the gaze of Jesus. And in their songless worship, they realized a truth that could never be taught, only received, that the gaze of love is the greatest gift heaven has ever known, greater than power, greater than knowledge, greater even than wings that cross galaxies. Jesus lifted his hand slightly, though no word escaped his lips. The light in his eyes deepened, swirling like galaxies within galaxies, an ocean with no bottom. Each angel felt that gaze pierce to the deepest part of their being, to the places even they could not reach. And in those places, where shadows and silence dwelled, his mercy poured in like dawn, sweeping away the last remnants of fear. They understood then that to be seen by him was to be known fully, and to be known was to be loved without condition. The heavens brightened, as though his gaze itself had become the sun of eternity. Golden streams of light mixed with violet rivers of fire, weaving together into a tapestry that covered all creation. The silence of that moment was more profound than any song, yet within it was the sound of every heartbeat, every whisper of wind, every ripple of water, all harmonizing into a hymn beyond sound. Jesus lowered his gaze once more, softer now, as if cradling the entire universe in a look. His eyes lingered upon the angels, upon creation, upon the smallest child upon the earth. His love made no distinction between the seraph burning bright and the soul hidden in shadows. All were embraced, all were drawn into his mercy. His gaze became the promise of eternity itself, that nothing was beyond redemption, nothing outside his love. And so the angels remained kneeling, not because eternity demanded it, but because their hearts could not rise. They were held, suspended in the sweetness of his mercy, lit by the living fire of his gaze. And they knew, with a certainty that made even the stars seem dim, that this was heaven itself, not the streets of gold, not the endless light, not even the music of their wings, but the gaze of Jesus, oceans of love flowing forever. The galaxies continued their turning, the stars their shining, the angels their kneeling, and at the center of it all was Jesus, his eyes two flames of infinite tenderness, two oceans of mercy without shore. His gaze was love eternal, love unbroken, love without end.